Our guest today is Tom Ball, Senior Vice President of Alliance Advisors. He's based up near New York City. He's been in the proxy solicitation business forever. I've known him a long time. He's a great guy. I'm Brock Romanek, today on Zippy Point. All right, so you just mentioned a Nobo list. What is a Nobo list?
So a Nobo list it's again, those who haven't objected. You make a request as the company, the broker, and actually they work through Broadridge. Broadridge will issue a list that shows each holder, number of shares, and their address. It doesn't tell you what broker or bank they hold through. It's just, you can see that Tom Ball owns 100 shares and here's his address. And typically on a Nobo list, it's almost all individuals.
Yeah, and I have a separate Vid-Guide explaining who Broadridge is, but basically the nutshell is they have a contract with most of the brokers and the banks on the street to act as their agent. And so they're sort of the intermediary between beneficial owners and the brokers and banks. Broadridge is basically the subcontractor from the brokers and banks to perform a bunch of obligations and duties that they have. Because Broadridge has the machinery, literally the machinery out in Long Island to do that.
That's right.
So as I understand it, during the proxy season ahead of the annual shareholders meeting, that companies want to obtain a Nobo list maybe more than once from Broadridge, right? It's from Broadridge so that they can see who the shareholders are and how they're voting. So when, what I said, is that true? And then when would that happen? When would companies ask for a Nobo list? And do they ask for it more than once?
Well, if you're going to ask for Nobo, first of all, a Nobo list can get expensive for a large company. And if you're going to order one, you'd order one as of the record date for the upcoming shareholder meeting. And in my experience, you don't always order one. You order it if you've got a contentious issue on the agenda and you want to be able to reach out by phone or mail directly to the Nobos, you would order it. So for the most part, if it's a routine meeting, you don't order it. But you should be aware that you can order a list that's not a full list. You can ask for a list of a holder's Nobos 1,000 and over, let's say. So instead of spending the money for the names of 10,000 people, maybe you get the names of 200 people, but that gives you an idea of who your largest holders are. And if your solicitation firm is doing an ID project for you, that's really helpful in identifying holders. But again, keep in mind, most of those holders are going to be individuals, the institutions, the hedge funds, the activists. They want confidentiality, so they'll be OBOs. They won't be on those lists.
So what typically will be on a Nobo list? I assume it's a PDF when it's ordered. And what would the sort of things be in the various columns?
Well, again, it's going to be name, address, share amount. It comes electronically. It's a cumbersome process, but you end up getting a disk from Broadridge. You download it, drop it into Excel, and you can play with it any way you want. So a PDF isn't going to do you a lot of good, but once it's in Excel, you can do your analysis, compare it to other lists that you've had in the past.